Drive you away.
Better than being here.
Do you want to go wandering in the woods begging for food? You could stay here and...
No! I just can't. What's to become of me?
We'll work something out. At least here you have a roof over your head.
Why is that girl standing here crying?
I executed her husband.
What? You killed him?
No, not like that. It was done lawfully. She knew he had it coming.
So then, why...
Folk would like to drive her out of town. She has no one here. For a while I thought I could take care of her, but it wasn't to be.
Why?
Do you really have to ask? I can't even go to the tavern for company, and no one would sup their ale with me. And when I die, they'll probably push me into a hole with a stick so as not to touch my corpse.
Is it really that bad?
I'm not complaining, mind. It's a well-paid job. if you don't mind being a pariah. They might look sideways at you, too, just for talking to me.
And that's what she's afraid of?
Exactly.
Doesn't that crying girl have any kin?
None she knows of. Poor lass. You could help her, though, if you wanted.
Me? How?
Alishka has no family, but her husband might still have some kin. Nobody will talk to me, but you could find out more.
Why do you want to find her family anyway? Don't you want her to stay here?
I do. She's a splendid woman, but I'd never want to keep her here against her will. The life I lead isn't for everyone.
Why me?
What would she have to put up with if she stayed with you?
A lot. I can't deny. Most of the townfolk wouldn't give her the time of day, at least not in public. If we had children, it would be even worse for them.
That doesn't sound like a very happy life.
It's not all bad. It's a well-paid job and even respected in a way. And when someone needs a bone set, all of a sudden they forget your reputation.
How can I find out if there's any family?
Try asking Alishka herself. She knows a thing or two about them. But, in the end, you'll still have to go and find out something from the bailiff, or from the records at the rat house.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
My thanks, if only for the thought.
Herman sent me.
What a way to end up.
Don't despair. It could be a lot worse.
Only death could be worse, and I'm not far from it.
Can I ask about your family?
What do you want to know?
Don't you have any kin left? Someone who'd take you in?
No. They all died of the plague. And then I ended up with that man of mine. I always knew he'd get strung up one day.
Didn't your husband have any kin?
Maybe. He mentioned some, but we never went to see them.
Is that all you know?
Yes. But if they're anything like my old man, the bailiff and his catchpolls will know about them.
That's all I need.
God be with you.
How does life in Rat Eye suit you?
It'd be fine if we didn't have to sleep in hovels and beg for alms. And the bailiff is always on our backs, the bastard. But what can we do? We've got nowhere else to go.
Did you find out what actually happened?
What do I know? The lords are at each other's throats, but it's us that has to suffer for it. Same as always. I reckon they was after the silver mines, wasn't they?
How are you coping?
As well as we can, Henry. You can be glad Sir Radzig took you into his service. I hear you even go hunting with Lord Capon.
I've been once. And I don't think it'll be happening again anytime soon.
Ah, it's a shame. Because I was going to ask a favor of you. I'm sure you know there's a lot of hungry mouths here, so I thought you might be able to help.
I don't know. I'm not such a great hunter that I could feed all the refugees.
No, that's not what I meant. It's the townspeople here who have a taste for game. They want to live like the nobility, see? A few of the burghers have been to see me already, to ask if we'd try our luck in the woods. They promised us supplies in exchange. Flour, lard, eggs, and the like. But we can't afford to take the risk of poaching. We're barely tolerated as it is. If one of ours got caught in the woods, they'd hang him from the nearest tree. But I was thinking, you're in Sir Radzig's garrison, and you go hunting with Sir Hans. You could help us.
Well, I got away with brawling with Lord Capon, so I don't suppose they'll string me up for a few hares.
Great, Henry. I really appreciate it. The local tailor was asking me about getting some hares to put on a feast for a visiting merchant.
All right, I'll bring you something.
Thank you. You'll be saving us from starvation. Take care now. Good luck to you. I wouldn't beg, good neighbors, but I'm reduced to this. I'm from Skillets.
What am I to do? A poor wretch whose home was burned to ashes by Sigismund IV.
Fresh bread! Come and get it! Man cannot live by bread alone, but he can't live without it either.
Onions that'll even make your man cry like a little rat. Come and buy some.
God's blessings. What can I do for you?
Master Bailiff, is there anything of interest going on here?
I should say so. The bishop's vicar came to Ujits, and not even Sir Hanush knows what he's after in these parts. Something must be up, but I couldn't tell you more than that.
Master Bailiff, is there anything of interest going on here?
Nothing of interest to me, thank Christ.
You look like you've got a lot on your plate, Master Bailiff. Is work keeping you busy?
Busy? I've had so many visitors, I wouldn't wonder if the door fell off its hinges.
What's going on?
I've been given the task of putting some of the Skalitz refugees to work. It's not that there's a shortage of jobs, the problem's sharing them out fairly.
I understand. Everyone has mouths to feed.
The worst part is they won't tell you who really needs a job the most, but you might be able to help, Henry.
How?
They're like to be more honest with you, so you can find out who's in the most need. And you can decide for yourself who'll do what. Will you help?
If you need help, I'll do whatever I can.
You're a godsend. I'm sure it won't take too long. You know how the refugees are getting on, don't you? But ask around if you need to find out more.
What kind of work are we talking about?
Well, old Hagen is looking for a cook, and we need actually 5 carriers.
A cook and 5 water carriers. That sounds simple enough. Is there a problem?
A little. We need 3 water carriers, but the other 2 will have to carry, begging your pardon, shit. Or as the Pope would say, excrement.
Is there anyone who can tell me more about it?
Yes, the merchant Conrad Hagen is the one looking for a cook, so you can talk to him. And young Alex will know which of the Skalitz folk are best suited to the job.
How come that's such a cause for concern?
For one thing, they're afraid of me, and I can't get a straight answer out of any of them. So how the hell am I supposed to make the right choice?
Oh, they're desperate. You can't blame them.
I don't, but I might end up picking some good-for-nothing who'll just booze his wages away.
Can you tell me anything more about the cook?
You'll have to ask Hagen yourself. I couldn't get a straightforward answer out of him. Maybe he's changed his mind.
What do I need to know about the water carriers?
We need 3. Right now, some of the burgers' hands are doing the job.
And they need to go all the way down to the river for water.
Of course, where else would they get it? Gallows Hill? It's not an easy job, but someone has to do it.
What can you tell me about the other carriers?
It's dirty, but it's a job that needs to be done. There'll be more than enough work for them. Some places are overflowing.
Sounds disgusting. Why would anyone want the job?
If all else fails, I'll pay 2 groschen for every 1 I pay the water carriers. That might convince someone.
That's all I need to know.
Good luck, then.
Take care. Do you know Alishka, the wife of the man who was hanged recently?
The one that's with the executioner now?
That's her.
Life can be cruel sometimes.
Right. And do you know if she has kinfolk somewhere around?
How should I know? Now, if you don't mind, I'm very busy.
If Alishka stays with the executioner, it'll end up being your problem anyway.
Christ, oh, all right then. Tell the scribe.
Where can I find him?
He's suffering with some ailment, so no doubt he'll be lying in his chambers above his study, on the top floor of the rat house.
May the Lord watch over you.
Good health to you, sir.
I'd like to ask if...
This knee of mine hurts like hell.
I'd like to ask...
Young man, there's always someone who wants to ask something. What do you need?
I wondered if you could take a look in your books for me, and,
Books? God above, am I to shuffle around here with my knees the way they are?
I could bring you something for your knees.
From some old hag? That's nothing but a load of... Oh! Ow! Oh! Well, I suppose it might be worth a try.
The bailiff sent me.
That's another matter, then. What do you need, friend?
Is it possible to find out from the records where someone lives?
You think we keep records of every serf? For Christ's sake, they breed like rabbits.
But I thought that in the rat house, though, in the books...
Boy, the books are for recording pacts, undertakings, punishments, property rights, and so forth. In other words, important things. We don't keep records of serfs.
Alishka won't be happy about that.
Alishka? You don't mean the one who married into the Mishek family?
Yes. Yes, you know her.
Why wouldn't I? I used to play dice with old Mishek years ago. He had a son, a nice, polite lad. How is he?
Oh, you know, he's quite tied up these days.
Well, if you see him, tell him to swing by.
And where are the Misheks living now?
A stone's throw from Rate by the small fish pond.
Thanks.
Take care now. That'll make you cry, and garlic that'll keep evil spirits at bay.
With salt, caraway seeds,
Yeah.
What do you want?
I've got information about your daughter-in-law.
Alishka's fine, only she needs...
Never heard of her. Get lost.
She's your nearest kin. Alishka's part of your family, and she really needs you...
I won't help anyone.
Listen, you old hag. If you interrupt me one more time...
Fuck off!
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
You might be alone here this evening. I have to set a fellow's broken leg in Merhoyed.
You? You can do that?
I can. Folk come to me from all around when they're desperate.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What is it now?
I could make it worth your while.
Really? And what is it you want?
Your son's widow needs help. She has nowhere to go.
What do I care about some useless girl?
With an attitude like that, you must be popular around here. I wonder how quick your neighbours would be to help you if you needed it. I wonder what they'd do if your house should happen to catch fire.
What the...
And if you happen by chance to be locked inside.
What are you implying, boy? Shall I go and get my pitchfork?
She could help you with the farm. She definitely knows how to take care of things.
We're all right on our own. We don't need another mouth to feed.
Oh, to hell with it then. I could make it...
Really?
Your son's widow.
What do I...
This might help you decide. Since it's you,
I'd almost shake on that. Almost.
You took the words out of my mouth. Send her here, then. But don't let her think she'll be taking it easy. She'll have her work cut out.
That sounds quite...
And if I hear a peep out of her, I'll take a stick to her back.
A fine salvation this is.
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Blessings.
You're not crying now?
I'm not. I've wept enough for a lifetime.
It's a bit of a change since my last visit.
I haven't had much luck in my life, but I've always worked things out in the end. Tears are no help to anything.
That's true.
So, did you find out something about them?
I did. I found your husband's father and mother, and they're willing to take you in.
But...
They're not very nice people, Alishka. They'd probably work you to the bone. But you would get fed.
Life is never easy. But at least I'd have a family.
You're right. I'll have another talk with Herman.
Goodbye.
Alishka's looking better.
She is, but she's not happy. God sent the poor girl great trials.
Indeed.
Did you know her whole family was wiped out by the plague? She was barely 12.
Losing your family isn't easy.
Ah, sorry, I wasn't thinking. So, did you find out anything about that kin of hers?
I have. I tracked them down. They say they'd take her in, but I'm not sure if she'd do well there.
Leave that to her. I just hope she'll be better off than now.
I've heard the way you talk about her, and, would you like Alishka to stay?
You know, Hal, she was always the sweetest girl. When she came with her family to Ratai, still single, she was a sight to behold. And it might surprise you, but she even had a word or two for me now and again. It grieved me when she married that wastrel. It was a foolish idea, but I always thought maybe she and I could... Well, fate likes a good laugh. Now I've strung up her old man. I have her under my roof. After all the years I was thinking of her. I don't want her to leave, but I don't want her to be unhappy here either.
Good morning.
Have you made your mind up?
I can't decide. I don't know Mishik's kin at all, but at least I'd have a family.
Herman could give you a family, too.
He's a decent, upright fellow. I've met none better, and that's the honest truth. But he's an executioner.
And what's the problem? That the other women won't chat with you down at the creek? Did that sort of gossip ever interest you anyway? He's a fine man, isn't he? He's willing to take care of you, and he has the means to do it, and he wants you. He's so sick with love for you, he can't even sleep.
But did he really say that?
He told me he's been in love with you for years. He said he always thought you were the sweetest girl in Ratai.
That's true. We used to meet now and again and exchange a few words. Well, he always treated me nicely. By all that's holy, you're right. I'll stay here. Take care. Herman?
Yes?
Could I Can I stay here with you?
You mean for good?
If you don't want me to.
You can! By God, you can! You've made me the happiest man in the world.
Thank you, Henry. I've a feeling with Herman I can finally find some happiness.
You will. The two of you are made for each other.
Thank you, Hal. Thank you.
Think nothing of it. The main thing is, everything worked out well.
It did. It did. Thank you. And I want you to have this. God almighty. I've got Alishka. After all these years, me, the executioner, has the woman he loves.